Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's Game Plan, we'll give you the latest in the ongoing PBA Philippine Cup semifinals along with the brand new edition of the Willy Wishlist.
We'll also hear from two UP correspondents on their experience from the sidelines in UAAP Season 84. And we'll see what lies ahead in the heart of volleyball as teams gear up for their final battles in the 2022 PBL Invitational Conference. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Magnolia Hotshots live to fight another day as they fend off elimination in Game 5 against the TNT Tropang Giga. Magnolia stay alive courtesy of a 105-97 win against the TNT Tropang Giga. Mark Baroca went off for 25 and Calvin Abueva off the bench, mind you, with double-double 16 and 10. Joining us tonight to talk about the matchups in the PBA is the PBA champion, Coach Willy Wilson. Coach, first of all, thank you for coming back on the show.
Sir.
It's always fun. It's always interesting. I wish we could have mic'd him up for the stuff we talked about before the show, but we don't want him canceled. So, Coach, when we look at this game a while ago, obviously Magnolia staying alive. A lot of people felt that TNT probably got their number. They did a few things that may look a bit sustainable. What do you think of their performance?
Well, I thought it was great. The energy was great, but the biggest thing was the fouls, the foul numbers. They kept the fouls low. The physicality was still the same, but they did it, like what Coach Chito said, within the game. They kept their emotions in check, and they just went out there and played basketball.
And obviously, when you talk about Magnolia, they live and die by their defense. I think that's what worked this time. But Mark Baroca having 25, Coach, what did he do in this ball game to get that win?
Well, it was a bounce back from last game, 5 points last game, 25 this game. He was just aggressive, attacking the basket, always being a threat out there. He got his shot going early, so that was really, really big. You know, when you make your first shot out there, that rim gets bigger.
You know, and one last thing before we move on to the other series right now. Again, TNT still have the chance to eliminate Magnolia in their next game. Mikey Williams only ended up with 13 points. I say only because we expect a lot from him. This is the second time Magnolia have sort of shut him down, or at least kept
That's
his
how
numbers
good
low.
Mikey is, right?
Yeah,
He scores
13 is like that's that's not so great, I guess.
Hey,
but then
I scored 13. That's like, yes, I scored 13 points.
You know, it's funny. I don't think my dad even scored 10. So anyway, let's
He hit a lot of
catching straight.
He hit a lot of people though.
Yeah. Anyway, so when we look at Mikey Williams, low-ish scoring game for him. Do you feel that that Magnolia have an answer to a Mikey Williams?
Well, you know, they number one, they caught Mikey on an off night. Number two, kudos to the defense of Magnolia, of Rome, of Adrian. They played, you know, great defense. 1 of 9 shooting from the 3. But I think more of what they did defensively, for instance, Rome. Rome was just putting that physicality on him and crashing the boards every single time. At times, sealing and posting up Mikey.
Making
and I
him
think,
work.
Yeah, you make him work on defense. It's going to translate, you know, on the offensive end.
All right, so let's move on to the other matchup. Again, first of all, apologies to my dad again for catching strays. Here, moving on to the matchup between the San Miguel Beermen and the Morocco Balls. With the series tied at 2 apiece, it's time to bring out the Willy Wishlist.
I am loving the fit.
I do not know who chose that photo.
Where did this picture come from?
I don't know, but we need to give that person a raise. Coach, let's talk about this series first, because obviously a lot of people may have thought that this may have been a shorter series, but a chance for it to extend. At the moment, as of recording or as we're talking about this, 59-54 in favor of San Miguel. They have now outscored the Meralco Bolts in the third quarter, 18-10. So big quarter now for San Miguel Beermen. There's a wish list here here that we're going to bring up, and
And the
Jegs,
first item on that wish list,
Wait,
Coach.
I want to make my first wish that we never show that picture again.
Oh no,
Okay,
no,
okay.
Can I wish for that?
no, no! Every
You
time
only
you
have
come
3
on,
wishes,
it
Coach.
will get bigger.
Yeah, you only have 3 wishes, that's why. So you got to use them wisely. For your first one, Coach, the momentum shifts keep happening in this series, talking about Meralco and San Miguel. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just stated right now, 18-10 run in that third quarter. You would see either San Miguel or Meralco get up big.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 15 to 20 point lead.
Yeah.
You would see the other team storm back. And then, that seesaw battle, that just makes for an exciting game, and we love to see that.
All right, so moving again, just to emphasize that as we were talking, it's now 20-10 in the third quarter in favor of San
It
Miguel.
just happened right,
So this
right
is-
now,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah. So it's not really a
Wish
wish list.
answered.
Wish came true. All right, the second one.
For the second item, Coach, the physicality continues, especially down low. I mean, you kind of expect that with Junmar, but what can you see with the other players in terms of physicality in the series?
Well, you have 2 physical players in Newsom and Perez. I mean, slashing to the basket. I love that matchup. We spoke about that last time.
Yeah.
But not just with Junmar, because you have to be physical with Junmar,
Yeah.
but with the guards and the wings. You want to see that chippiness,
Yeah.
that desire to win. And I think whoever is able to keep their emotions in check while maintaining that physicality will pull out the win.
I was going to say it's obviously going to be a physical series because you have a guy like Cliff Hodge right there.
Who's
making
always
sure.
on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Him and Calvin.
Yeah, no, I mean, like when you have Cliff Hodge, just like with Calvin Abueva, the other series, it's you're not just going to see them on the court, you're going to feel them, and I think that's what happens there. So the third one here, Jegs.
So for the third one, we're not talking about the players. We're talking about the people in the sideline, the coaches. I mean, I think this is one of the reasons also, Coach, why your point number 1, momentum shifts.
Yeah.
I think it's also because of the coaching, right? So the
Yeah.
coaching chess match continues here in the series, Coach, talking about Meralco and San Miguel.
Okay, so we're not even speaking about in-game adjustments.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about a game-to-game adjustment wherein San Miguel wins game 1.
Yep.
Meralco comes back, wins
Yeah.
game 2. San Miguel wins game 3. Meralco comes back and wins game 4. What is the adjustment that the coach is going to make? And then the adjustment to the adjustment that the opponent is going to make, because we want to see this series go 7 games.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
And just to bring up that point, when we had Coach Luigi here yesterday, he mentioned that he wasn't afraid, or he wasn't really wondering too much about what San Miguel did not do in the last game, but rather he was more worried about the adjustments that are going to be made here in this game in particular. And right now, those fears are, again, very founded because it's now a 24-10 run in favor of the San Miguel Beermen. We're now up 65-54 here towards the end of the third. Still a lot to talk about when it comes to the series. Let's see whether or not it does extend to 7, because there's also a chance here that this could be an elimination game coming on Sunday, depending on who wins here today. So, Coach, if this goes into 7, do you feel that really we should put more respect on Meralco, because for the longest time they were just the team that
Now, if
lost
you look
game
at the
never
trend
playoffs.
also, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the trend, if Game 5 goes to San Miguel, to Meralco gets it, is it possible for Meralco to get back-to-back Game 6 and Game 7?
Oh, anything is possible.
Yeah.
As they say, bilog ang bola. Pero,
Yeah.
if it does go to a game 7, we tend to give it to the team with the most experience and the best player on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that has to be the big man,
Junmar
Junmar
Fajardo.
Fajardo.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, thank you very much for coming on again. Feel free to sit here and watch some of our correspondents in the
I
next
definitely
body.
will.
Yeah,
I
that's
definitely
fun.
will.
Yeah, their TikToks are insane. Let's see if their guesting will be as great.
Yeah, thank you, Coach, because after the break, we'll see them and we'll find out what it takes to be part of the UAAP Correspondent team. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The UAAP continues its search for the next set of correspondents for season 85. Joining us today are the two ladies that represented UP, Doreen Suaybagyo and Fiona Bacani. So for the fans that are wondering why there are two correspondents for the same school, it's because it's a different set for the basketball season and for the volleyball season. So it was Doreen for basketball and Fiona for volleyball. But I just want to ask you ladies, what was your favorite courtside moment in your short stint? It was a short season, but it was a very memorable one. Let's start with Doreen.
Definitely the championship game. The
Ay, di nga.
the air in the Mo Arena on that night was just electric. The sense of community among the fans, the generations of UP students, and the team, of course. It was magical and it was surreal to be a part of it and to witness all of it from the court side.
That UP community is crazy, Pao. And talking about UP community against LaSalle, I mean...
Okay, di naman against LaSalle yung finals.
Okay.
Semis lang kami.
I just had to put that out, But for Fiona, what's your favorite courtside moment?
I feel like it would have to be, as cliche as it sounds, the last game that we ever had.
Yeah.
Because, there were so many uncertainties. You didn't know who was saying goodbye at that point. But also at the same time, there was so much heart and soul being poured out into the court. And that was also the time, because of COVID restrictions, we weren't allowed to go near the players.
Yeah.
And so that was the only time I was able to hug them and say hello and get to know them. I even rode the bus with them on the way back to campus. So that was like an exciting first.
We just saw that right now on our screens. And just so people understand how much of a moment that was for Fiona, she actually sent us a message saying that she got to ride on the bus back to UP, went out with them that same night. Heart, hashtag, bonding moments, yarn. Okay, my goodness. All right, obviously it's a unique experience. We wish that you had more chances to communicate and interact with the team. But then you look at your whole school life. Where does this rank for you? How does it feel?
For me, it gave me a lot of purpose, especially since I became a correspondent in my graduating semester. So it made my college journey more memorable. Lalo na parang in the last 2 years of my college life, it was online. And then being a correspondent happened. It just parang nabawi yung 2 years na yan.
Fiona?
I feel like for me, it was kind of just giving back to a community that has given me so much. UP has been definitely one of the best, like a few of the best years of my life. And so this was like the cherry on top of all that icing. Such a good experience.
And we're gonna have more people experience that, Pao, because we're trying to find new ones, right? So for Doreen, if you were to talk to them right now, what would you tell them, biggest piece of advice for the upcoming correspondents?
For me, it would be to stay anchored to your why. Because on days when the going gets tough, when you're having mind block at 2 in the morning, writing your reports, it's your why that's gonna keep you going. So stay anchored to that why, whatever it may be, and then bring it on the auditions and even after that.
I love that. How about you, Fiona?
For me, it's just taking that leap of faith, you know. Right now, there's no room for you to second guess anything. Just go for it, do it for the right reasons. And also, one thing I did learn from some of my mentors in the UAAP was that if you're scared or pressured or afraid, that means you care. And that's never a bad thing.
Leap of faith because volleyball, right? They leap on the court, right?
That's not how it works!
I'm sorry, Pao. Let's go on to the next one.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, for those wondering, the deadline for the UAAP auditions will be on Sunday. That is August 14. And did you girls submit early or did you wait till last minute?
I waited the last minute.
Yeah.
30 minutes before
Out
the
of all
deadline.
the things that they've said, don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right? Go submit early. Again, here are the requirements. 18 to 23 years of age, currently enrolled in a UAAP school, fluent in English and Filipino, willing to give time for training sessions, fast thinker in pressure-packed situations, eloquent and able to write well. Yeah, these girls had it.
And Pao also has that.
Yeah, no, and you do also.
All of us do.
Oh, and here's what you have to submit. Your CV and a 90-second video headshot package of yourself with a brief intro to yourself and why you want to be the next correspondent in the UAAP. Send that to uap@signaltv.com.ph. And who knows, you might be one of the next few people really reliving the iconic moments of your school's college athletic. I don't know how to say this properly because
I guess it's a different experience overall because it was in a bubble before. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen this season, right? But
at the champion UP,
right? Okay, pa. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Hang
still
on.
sour. I know.
Three
I'm
against
I'm
one
still
here.
sour. But okay, right now though, it's not just about you weren't there to be part of the. You couldn't be with the teams as much. But can you tell us a bit about working alongside your fellow correspondents? Because the bond that you have all created is incredible, and it was really fun to watch from the outside looking in.
Yeah, we were really like a family. We call each other siblings.
Yeah.
All of our group chats, we call each other siblings because
Yeah.
that's the kind of bond that we shared. Usually, the courtside reporters don't really stay next to each other on the court. But right now, as correspondents, we would always be together, do everything together, hang out a lot, see each other every other day.
Yeah.
Alam mo, sabi ni Doreen kanina sa Sainty daw siya. I
Yeah.
mean, like, what's the one moment that you feel like you'll always look back on? I mean, like, obviously the championship, but
Yeah.
then in terms of your journey from the auditions to where you are right now, what stands out the most apart from the games?
I guess it would be when players message me after a game about my reports. I remember there was this one time, RC Kalimag's first game. He messaged me right after that game. He said, Doreen, I heard your report about me and I appreciate it. And it's just nice because it reminds you that your role as a correspondent connects players not just with the fans, but also like with their families since they are in a bubble.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doreen Suaybagyo and Fiona Bacani of UP.
Yes, sir.
Fight.
UP
Fight!
Okay.
Thanks, ladies.
Again, really, thank you very much. And we can't, and I'm sure we haven't heard the last of the both of you. Thank you again. So after the break, we'll find out what to expect from the crucial matches of the 2022 PVL Invitational Conference as we inch closer towards the championship. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're watching The Game. The top teams in the heart of volleyball are inching their way closer to the battle for the 2022 PVL Invitational Conference crown. What can we look forward to as the season wraps up this weekend? Let's find out from our volleyball analyst tonight, formerly host, but now she's really here as an analyst. Z Hervasio. Z, thank you very much. You called you were able to call a game a while ago between King Whale and
So she's the
Creamline.
perfect analyst.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, she's done with the whale jokes, bro.
And I'm also
Oh my
loving
goodness.
the color palette
Oh, yeah,
of
true.
Pao
Oh,
and Z right now. I
We
love
match.
it.
Everybody,
I like
it's
it.
like a sneaker date today too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's Casual Friday. All right, so let's talk about Creamline against King Whale because Creamline went into this already assured for the finals,
Correct.
and they didn't necessarily have to parade the full strength lineup. They didn't have to do, they could have taken a day off.
yeah.
But then when you look at how they approach this King Whale game, what came into your mind and what did you see from both these teams?
I mean, you're right. It was a no-bearing game for them. But on the other side, King Whale wanted to seal the deal in today's match, and
Yeah.
that's what they did. For Creamline, I think it was a good effort since it was mostly their second stringers.
Yeah.
And I think they're just, trying to see how far their bench can go also, I mean, if you're Creamline, you would want to see how, Vargas, Kainglet,
Yeah.
and everybody else would fare to this new team who just got here, this week also,
Yeah.
played their first match on Monday. And I mean, it was really good effort for Creamline, especially for a game day that's just only one match featured today and packing up the stadium as well. It was definitely good for them, definitely good for the fans as well. So it was a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, Z, perfect for the starters and also the bench players because,
Yes.
fresh yung starters,
Yep.
the main players for Creamline, but also nagka-experience naman the bench players. But you mentioned, Z, that the stage is set for the finals. It's basically
Correct.
Creamline against King Whale.
Yes.
What can we expect with this matchup in the finals?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, looking at the
Exciting,
match
eh?
earlier,
Yeah.
it was so exciting. It went up to 5 sets.
Yeah.
I mean, and unfortunately, Eliza suffered an injury. Hopefully, it's just minor,
Yeah.
But, expect that Creamline's gonna be, full guns blazing out on Sunday. And for sure, King Whale also, because something that sparked interest in me is how they have so much ball control.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so scrappy, but they manage to convert those points, even if they run up and down the court. So
King Whale still has a game against Signal
Signal.
coming up,
Yes.
and they're now in the situation that Creamline was at, and at the same time, their games are coming in fast and furious. I know we can't really read the mind of the coaching staff of King Whale, but then would it be a surprise if we don't necessarily see a full-strength King Whale team go up against Signal, considering that's finals na sila?
no, yeah, for sure. There was actually another angle that we saw earlier why Creamline didn't play their first stringers. It's probably one, they're saving their energy for
Yeah.
this weekend's game, and two, they're probably trying to hide their
Strategy,
coming for
right.
this weekend game. And their head coach, Coach Teng, is actually coach who was scouting here in the Philippines
Yeah.
a couple of years back, and that's probably one of the things that King Whale will also do for the next match.
Yeah, I see that coming also for King Whale because, it just makes sense. Imagine playing Friday today
Yeah.
and then
Right.
tomorrow and then on Sunday for the
Right.
finals. I mean, that's going to be tough. So I think we're really going to expect a little bit of, the other
rotation.
players,
Yeah.
rotation
Yeah.
For tomorrow. But it's still going to be an exciting matchup between
Definitely.
King Whale and Signal. What can we expect from that game?
Well, I guess now, since basically it's a non-bearing match for both teams, I think Signal would still want to end this season, conference rather, on a good note. Because we saw how their trend in their last conference na ang ganda ng simula and at the end parang kinapos. And somehow it's making a repeat this conference, but this time due to injuries and health protocols. So definitely they would want, Signal is a veteran team.
Yeah.
There are a lot of superstars, a lot of history behind their team, and they would definitely want to end in a winning note.
Obviously, even with the matchup tomorrow between Signal and King Whale, a lot of people are, I think, and understandably so, already thinking about what's going to happen between Creamline and King Whale come the final. Is there, you've seen them both play right now for the same
Yes.
period of time. Is there a clear-cut favorite, or do you feel that there could be an underdog story between these two teams, or are they just evenly matched?
Definitely everybody wants, I mean, if you saw the stadium earlier, super pink.
Yeah.
So
Well-
Team 9 is definitely a favorite, but you know, it's always something good to root for the underdogs. You know how it's sports culture, it's automatic naman yan. But
Yeah.
you know, as a volleyball fan, I really would want to see something like what we saw earlier na 5-setter match.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yung laban, ang daming comebacks, ang daming 5-0 runs, 6-0
So
runs.
it makes it fun,
So,
right?
yeah, it's
We
just,
want those cardiac games.
Yes, basically everybody on their seats, basically.
All right. Z, thank you very much for coming on over. I know you just came down.
Yeah,
and then,
third floor, ngayon, ground
and
floor.
down here just to join us here. But then we appreciate the trip. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Z. Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.